It's Thursday. I'm Pat Bear, and I'm here to build some model kits and hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. Harold already put those emotes in and is hosting the stream. Thank you very much, Harold. But yeah, throw those emotes in. Let the people know that you're here and you're a subscriber. If you aren't a subscriber, you can just say hi, or you can say other things. You got options. I hope everyone's doing great tonight. Lastbrook is here. Hello, Lastbrook. It is indeed a Thursday, and we've got the Crossbone. The T is here. Welcome to the T. We got the Crossbone X2 Ver.ka, so it is the redone colors, and we are body complete, except, ooh, you can see in the back, there's no backpack, which is also the core unit, because if we open up the front of this, there's nothing inside. We got to put the core fighter in there, which the pilot rides in on. So we got to build that, which we will. And when that is completed, we will put a cape on this fine friend. And when that is completed, we will put some weapons, and that will be the build, which I'm very excited about. Ooh, a piece fell off the front, which I will have to reassemble. Lord Crashington is here saying, hey, Pat, hello to you, Lord Crashington. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing okay on this Thursday night. Oops. I'm doing pretty well. This is the intro portion of the stream. If you're new here, as a reminder, this is just where we're hanging out, talking a little bit. We will get to building soon. Had no idea the Crossbone used a core fighter. Yes, these bones on the back of it, the X pattern of the bones, because it is a crossbone, are actually like components, like booster rockets almost, of the core fighter, which is a fun concept, and particularly, I think, neat in a manga Gundam, which this is. This piece does not want to go in, which is annoying because I need it to go in, because it already did go in. Basically, there are these little flaps on the kit that are used to hold the cape in place. And I loosened them because we're going to put the cape on today, and then one of them decided to pop off. And I remember this being annoying to put on in the first place, so that's frustrating. Lord Creston says, it's the end of a shitty work week for me, so time to relax for a couple days. Well, Lord Creston, I'm glad to hear it. I'm sorry that it was shitty. I'm not glad to hear that, but I'm glad to hear that you can take some time to relax and hang out. Tonight, we will be discussing, among other things, Boyfriend Dungeon, which I played last evening. We will be probably talking about a bit about OnlyFans and the current shenanigans happening there, and some changes to service, and the overall thing of getting out while the getting's good, basically. And of course, manga. I got a whole lot of manga to talk to you about, actually, because I kind of dipped into a few different things, because what I've been doing is just kind of trying new stuff. Particularly trying stuff that is going to maybe come out this fall season or the next winter season. There's one show that's coming out next season, and kind of just like checking them out. I've read a little bit of a few different manga, including a manhwa, which is a South Korean book. So it's like their version of manga. Which there have been a few anime adaptations of those. Always fun to see a platform ban the thing they were known for. Yes, Lord Crashington. And it is a combination of a few things. I talked about one of the major things on Twitter today that is a part of this. But then we'll also talk about one of the other reasons why changes are being made. I really got to get this piece on. Whatever, I'll deal with it later. And we're going to get started with our stream in a moment here. I am going to go retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. Because it's the more the merrier, as they say. The numbers going up. People watching, and things of that nature. All right, so let's go to the overhead there. Here's the overhead. Here is our Gundam. This is a 2013 kit that was reissued, so it's not a brand new, and nothing is new about this kit. It's still the same kit that was out in 2013. It's just they just produced more of it and made it more easily available for people internationally, because originally it was only available in Japan. So it is a fine representation of the year 2013. And we are going to start by building the core fighter, which we'll use some of our stickers that we still have because there's quite a few stickers left. Actually, before we do that, let me see if I can use tweezers to get this piece on here. Maybe that'll help. But it also may fly away. But basically, this little white piece here is supposed to attach onto basically over here and would then pop back on when I need it to. Or then it would pop up to hold in the fabric of the cape, because this kit has a cape. It's a pirate with a cape. I wonder if that would make things easier if I did like that. Oh, I got it right on. No problem. Nice and easy. Oh, getting a little delay there on the dash. And then it pops on there, and then you can pop it open. Oops. Come on. Pop open. Yeah, it doesn't really want to stay on when it's not closed, but it will. Okay, we did that. All right, so let's start with the OnlyFans thing, because that's the thing that's happening, and I kind of want to talk about it now. I have been the person on your Twitter feed that has said numerous times, hey, just so you know, sex work is work, but also there are people that use OnlyFans that are not there for not safe for work reasons. OnlyFans is a website, if you were unaware, where you can have a free one, and you can charge money, and you can set your own price. You can also to see posts, and those are any kind of posts. Those are videos, those are photo collections, those are just words, text. And then you can also have messages that you send for like pay-per-view kind of things, which are like paid pay-to-view, really, direct to your fans. So people that aren't fans can't see anything that you do if you have a free one. And a lot of times people have free that then support their paid one. There are some people out there that are professional wrestlers or cosplay models, or there has been a push for, there's some entertainers that are on there. There are stand-up comedians. Also, a thing that doesn't really get talked a lot about, because actually very few people use it, but there's live streams where you can, unless you are a paid person for OnlyFans, unless you're paying someone's OnlyFans, you won't see these live streams, and they are available just to people that are part of that. So some comedians have used it. Not a lot of people have, but some people have. But primarily, it was considered a safe haven for sex workers, folks that are posing risque photography, nude photography, perhaps sexual acts, and we're making a decent living. Some people making a lot of money, some people making enough money, bonus income, stability income. There was certainly a rise in use of the service in quarantine times. It was certainly used before that, but there are plenty of folks that were looking for a second income or a new primary income that were taking advantage of it. I have a friend who was a stand-up and writer in Los Angeles that moved to be with family during this time and lost all of her income. And she was like, well, I'm gonna do an OnlyFans. And it was like, yeah, all right, whatever you're comfortable with, as long as you let the people know exactly what you're up to and what they can expect from it, you should. We just put our little fighter here in the core. You can see there's this. That's just like somebody, just a little tiny person there, a little pilot in the core. But yeah, some people do it for self-expression. Some people do it as a source of income. Whatever they use it for, it's on them. Now, because as I said, OnlyFans is not just for that, but it is primarily. It is what made the system work and possible. And that is going to change as a platform. Now, is a major component of why it's going to change, because it is a startup that is looking to eventually sell. Yes, and that is the thing you have to think about when we talk about startups. Startups are not businesses that are created around an idea to become profitable and sustainable. That is not what startups do. And that seems weird to people, right? That always does seem strange to people when they talk about those things, right? Because like you're like, well, they made a ton of money. Why would they want to change things? Well, because the owners of the company want to make a lot more money. And then they want to start a new idea and get investors and get a lot of income in and sell it and make a lot of money. Um, and the way to do that is to get rid of your bring in celebrities, bring in names, bring in faces, and then also get rid of the noose around your neck, the weight on your shoulders, which is the fact that very few credit card processing companies want to deal with adult content, including MasterCard, who has just put in a lot of new restrictions that will be going into effect this year. And also, on the other side, investors are scared of pornography. They're scared of adult entertainment on the internet, which is understandable. And if OnlyFans was interested in just being a business and not interested in being pumped full of investment to inflate the worth of the company to then sell the company for a huge profit under the idea that the company itself would make even more money in the long term for someone else who is looking at looking to invest things and buy things to fill out their portfolio. So they're gonna get rid of that content that seems like it will prevent them from getting investment and selling. Now, you'll see on Twitter people say stuff like, well, this worked out great for Tumblr, didn't it? Ha 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 ha. And this is to bring up the fact that Yahoo basically um, just tried to get rid of and succeed in getting rid of adult content uh, off of Tumblr when they bought Tumblr. They spent a lot of money to get Tumblr and then eventually sold it for not much money because it was not worth the money that they had bought it for, and then they went about ruining the product. Now, why did they do that? Well, on the one side of it, um, Yahoo is not a good company that makes smart decisions. And also, a thing that OnlyFans has been dealing with is because they have to have an app without adult content on it. It looked like Tumblr was going to be taken off the App Store, the Google App Store, not Google, the Apple App Store, because of the adult content you could access through it, which is against the terms of service of Apple. So the thing is, when we talk about Tumblr being like, well, that really worked out for Tumblr, didn't it? When people say that, what they are forgetting is that worked out great for the people that sold a Tumblr to Yahoo. And that's the same thing that's happening here. The people that created OnlyFans are looking to eventually sell OnlyFans and make a ton of money. Because also that's the end goal for investors. Nobody wants to invest in a company that is looking to be sustainable. They're looking to invest in a company that's going to rake in profits and pay them back at a great rate and sell, and then they make money and they go, I was one of the first people to invest in that company, and then they can get ooze at dinner parties. And that's literally what's happening here. So, keeping all of that in mind, what can be done? Well, in the immediate, I'm frankly confused at this point because I've heard so many different things, like the MasterCard thing being forced by Christian puritanical groups, and the OnlyFans isn't blocking porn from creators, but like users. So, one, None of their apps will allow any creator to show adult content on it, which is fine. That is a thing. Two, the MasterCard issue is a separate issue that is tied into it, is part of the fact that banks and processing companies are very scared about pornography because they will get sued by Christian groups saying that they are promoting child pornography, which nobody wants to hear from. Obviously, also very clear to say, uh, I am in agreement on protecting children 100%. 100%. That's not the conversation we're having right now, but it is the only conversation that some people will have about pornography. Um, so it's wild to have a fairly successful site where people pay for adult content and then go back on when it's getting big. Well, Lord Crashington, I mean, that's always the end goal. That's 100% the end goal, right? Um, think about how uh, we're on right now. I am broadcasting to you on twitch.tv, which is a rebrand of Justin TV, which was for two things. One, live streaming for a very small amount of people live streaming their daily lives, and two, rebroadcasting, illegally rebroadcasting pay-per-views. So people, Justin TV existed so you could watch wrestling pay-per-views for free because somebody would pay for it and then broadcast it out. That's the site we're on right now. And there are so many people that have never even heard of Justin TV, that have no concept of Justin TV. They know this brand. They know Twitch.tv. I primarily use a service to watch anime called Crunchyroll, which went legit, but originally was not a legit company and a legit service, but they went that way. Um, Tumblr, if handled properly, could have been incredibly successful without adult content. And there would have been a bunch of people who would have been incredibly upset about it forever. Yes, but they could have continued to be a business, but they failed many different ways. Um, this could be H14 is this. These two go down here. I got B3 and E6. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to figure that out in a second. Anyway, they finally revealed the kits for the Gundam Online Expo being sold in waves. Oh, okay. That's cool. I will check that out later, Lashbrook. Thank you for putting that link in there. So yeah, the right now, folks that make content for OnlyFans that is an adult nature, much like, oh, I also forgot to say, we'll get into that in a second. I do want to say, people went to OnlyFans because they were forced to leave Patreon. Now, people didn't have explicit things on Patreon, but they did have risque things. There was adult content of a risque nature on Patreon, and Patreon worked very hard to get rid of that content. Um, uh, and so some of those people moved to OnlyFans as a necessity because enough people went there. Because once you're logged into a site and you have an account and you don't have to get your credit card out every time, it's a lot easier, right? So what should be happening now? Well, immediately, folks who make adult content on OnlyFans have to look for uh, new services to join. They have to look for a new site. Um, Perhaps they will be able to find one that clearly states they are interested in adult content. Even though that is what OnlyFans did as well, so that's certainly no guarantee. But they have to look for a place, and hopefully they will find a place where many people are flocking to, and then they will keep their bikini photos for as long as possible, or their cute cosplay photos up for as long as possible on a free OnlyFans, while trying to get people to move to another site until OnlyFans, in a panic, decides to make it so you can't do like links to a website there. Which will come at some point for the stragglers. Those that are only doing OnlyFans in a way to, keeping their OnlyFans in a way to promote their new site. So that'll happen. Those things will happen. What should happen, and is very difficult to happen, but is actually the answer, which is a very difficult thing, is a collective action by a group of sex workers, creating a co-op opportunity, a co-op to house adult content made by sex workers for sex workers, uh, and continue to work on processing that won't get shut down, and using processing sites that will allow people to allow them to continue to be a business. Now that needs a huge amount of investment, capital investment. It will be incredibly difficult to do that, and will take people with a lot of time and energy and money in order to pull that off. But that should be the end goal. There should be no other end goal besides that. Uh, and that is a tall order and a difficult task. But otherwise, whatever site people who are using currently selling things on OnlyFans will find is they will move on to another site with the hope that that site won't immediately shut down, uh, and or try to get rid of them. Um, and look, bringing the celebrities in, people knew what that was. They knew what was coming with those things. They knew what that was going to look like. Sex workers knew. They always know. They can always feel it uh, when their safety nets are crumbling. Um, because they came, because they left Patreon to go to OnlyFans. Some people had OnlyFans anyway. There are folks that have non-risque stuff on Gumroad because that's direct to consumer. Gumroad has cracked down a bit. There are folks that are attempting to use other sites and hoping that think they'll be protected there. And it is a shame that it continues to be an issue that these folks have to face, and hopefully at some point it will be resolved. So, I'm not going to put stickers on this. There are some gold stickers that can go on this kit, but I don't think it'll look good because I don't really like the gold stickers that are on the regular kit. Oops, my leg just came off there. So I will not be doing that. I will not be putting stickers on this kit, because I'm not going to have the core fighter on display. It's just going to live in the kit anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that. So we can continue on assembling this core fighter with E9, 8, H11, and 12. We'll do that first. So yeah, I hope that there is a future for those folks and they find a place where they can, make money and continue to work. Um, I know at least one person that has an OnlyFans that I'm aware of has found a site that they are currently excited about, that also has like tiers, which is a nice like tier content, like similar to Patreon. And so I'm excited for them and hope that it goes well. But yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of nonsense. And some of it's pure technical grossness. Other it is the ways of the world. Because I had somebody in my Twitter feed being like, "You'd think people would learn from Yahoo's mistake of buying some big thing and then trying to make huge changes to it." And I was just like, "No, no one learns that lesson. They'll just say that Yahoo doesn't know what it's doing because they want to, like, the Yahoos of the world, which is fun to say that they're real Yahoos. Those folks are going to consistently make these mistakes over and over again because they think, well, we're going to take the successful thing and then we're going to use our built-in know-how and our larger resources to make it even better. And then that doesn't happen because it wouldn't, because how and why could it happen? Why would it happen? It doesn't happen that way. The reality of it is just that uh, people are going to spend a lot of money and then they're going to lose a lot of money. They like the idea of those platforms, but not enough to support the sort of content they host. Indeed, Lord Crashington, yeah, because it's a thing of like, well, Tumblr, like we can serve ads, and all these people want to be on it, and like all these communities will thrive. And then we're like, we're going to get rid of some of the communities we don't want. Oh, Also, the communities we do want to encourage, and we do want to be there. Oh, did they all move to Reddit? They all moved to Reddit, and then later some of those Redditors moved to Discords for the communities that they want to foster. But yeah, they just moved to another thing because even if um, your fandom is not a not safe for work fandom, is a safe for work fandom, you can still feel the writing on the wall that you're like I had some weird things where I had some posts on Tumblr that were held for review and I had to manually click and go, this is not adult content on things that were definitely not adult content. And it was like, why would you think this? And then they were like, it was like a false positive. It was fine, but complete nonsense that I had to even like be like, hey, this isn't pornography. This is just a thing that this is a photo. This is like a photo of a beach. Um, anyway, hopefully that'll work out for people. So Lashbrook put a link in for Premium Bandai for the Gundam Online Expo. Yeah. And there's going to be some model kits and such. Uh, got some exclusives, things that you would find at a lot of conventions throughout the year, but we're not getting those. So you got your special coatings, which folks, special coatings look good, but you got to have a display with glass and like cool lighting for that to be worth, getting a master grade for uh $94. Although considering that the Epion master grade is probably pricey these days, it's not that much more, but nah. Uh Now the real grade, one thing I will say, if you are gonna pre-order some stuff that they put up here, uh, for the expo, uh, the Epion does look good though. No, it looks beautiful, Lashbrook. You're not wrong. I'm gonna say this. Looking right now, the Trans Am looks pretty cool. The clear Trans Am, that does look good. Um, let's see. They have. I will tell you this, folks. They've got one of the best model kits in my collection of builds. The real grade 144 Sazabi clear color. It's $55. That is how much I believe that's how much I paid for it at a convention. That is a completely, utterly beautiful, gorgeous kit. It because it's the Sazabi, it's a huge real grade. It feels like building a master grade because it's such a big kit. It is unbelievably beautiful. That ruby red clear is just unbelievably attractive. Whoops. Completely beautiful. Totally worth the money that they are charging. Uh, a real grade for $55 is a lot, but it's incredible. They get the blue Haro, the like Gundam base. Yeah, that's a fine Haro. That's too much money. That's not too much money. That it's $8. That's perfectly good. Um, the diver looks good. The narrative is pretty cool. Um, I think the big thing for this expo are the kits of the Yokohama Gundam. Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are probably the big ones. Um, ooh, that high grade looks nice of that. That does look good. The clear Sazabi. I mean, you know this. Folks that have been around here for a while know I don't like the Sazabi. I think it is not a great kit. That clear Sazabi's not bad. It's not, I still don't want to get one, but it's got some clear green and I do like that. That's pretty cool. No, no, no. Clear Crossbone, that's kind of fun. SD. Ooh, that's Zaku. That's a beautiful Zaku. That is a beautiful Zaku. They do have the Hello Kitty Zaku 2 clear, which somebody in chat I remember has the other Zaku, or it's the RX-72 clear, so you can get your matching pair. Is that you, Lashbrook? I believe that is you that was talking about wanting to get that. That does look pretty neat. Um, Also, oh, I got to pre-order that entry grade. Oh, that looks real good. It was me. I need that Zaku. Yes, you need that Zaku. Well, I know what I want. Um, you know how I bought that entry? I built one of my favorite kits of last year was the 144 the entry grade Gundam, the RX-78-2. Uh, they got an RX-78 that is okay. So the pre-orders go on the 26th, next Thursday. Um, they got one that is for painting, and it's completely white, and I kind of want to just get that. Ooh, I might get that. I got to see what my money looks like for next week. Look, first and foremost, I got to pay all my bills this month, and then if I can do all that, then that by next Thursday I will know if that is time for me to go and make that purchase. That's an HG. Yes. Oh, I thought it was a high grade. Didn't it say high grade or entry grade? Entry grade. Didn't it say entry grade? Thought it was an entry grade. The paint one. I'm gonna look right now. Wait, where is it? Where'd it go? I lost it. Uh, anyway, there. Gundam Expo. Sorry, this is great internet for me. Ooh, yeah, injection machines out of stock. Where'd it go? All right, whatever. Oh, you're correct. Yeah, it's the intergrade. It's the EG, but it is completely clear. That looks real good. Uh, so yeah, there's some good stuff there. This Zaku 2 real type though. Yes, Razgriz. So I hate Razgriz. That is also really beautiful. There's a bunch of stuff that is pretty cool. There's also a Haro that is the paint model, the clear and white, which I do like, but I don't like enough to probably pre-order that. Again, I don't know if I'm going to pre-order any of these things, but I'm going to go look at them harder off stream because they look fucking great. Um, okay. Boyfriend Dungeon. I played Boyfriend Dungeon last night. If you're here during the stream, thank you. If you missed it, go to my secondary YouTube, which is Pat Bear VODs. It's up on my VODs. You can find the link on my Twitter and check that out because it was a fun stream. My big takeaways from Boyfriend Dungeon are the updated content warning. I appreciate. Raspberry says, enter the dunge. And yes, that is the other thing. The thing I tweeted about, the thing that I talked about during the stream, the thing that will literally be a clip that will be, spoiler alert, a future Best of Build With Baer is just me just having it with the fact that everyone in that game refers to dungeons as dunge, Dunj. Because if they spelled it Dung, it would be dung. So it's dunge. Enter the dunge. Yeah, like, hey, we're heading to the dunge. Oh, how much experience do you have with the dunge? It sucks that everyone calls it that. I don't know why they were trying to be cute in that way. It's not a twee game, but that is very twee in a way that I am opposed to. But it's a fun game. Dungeon, the worst EV evolution. Yes, Dungeon. Um, it's a fun game. I'm definitely gonna keep playing. I don't think I'm gonna stream it again. Uh, I did enjoy it, and I will say we had the best numbers of viewers that we've had in quite a while. Not counting raids. The fact that there were a bunch of people that tuned in for it, which is rad. I always love to see that, but I don't know if I'm gonna. Oh, the other dung. Oh, Dungyan. Oh, you're Dungyan. That is what you're going for. That was the joke you were making, the T. I see you now. I get jokes. Jokes are hard. Wordplay is hard to convey via tweet, or in this case, chat, but it applies to tweets as well. Those are not the easiest things to convey. All right, so this is going to go in like this, it looks like, right? Okay, and then that goes this. Oh, come on. Work with, there we go. There we go. All right, so this is going to be, this is the this is our core fighter, and it will go in the back here and hang out in there and kind of just chill. You can see it's going to do that basically. But before we do that, we got to build the our bones for our crossbone. Gotta build the bones, and for that we need eye, which is this one. We got to build 4 of these things. We need. Oops, this came off again. Take care of that in a minute. Yeah, so it's a fun. You know what? It's a fun enough game. I definitely enjoyed it. I will put more time into it. I don't know if I'll ever beat it, but probably at some point. But yeah, I had a good time with it. I think it was good and fun. I am looking forward to uh, continuing it. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but I do think it's worth your time. It's on Game Pass, so if you got Game Pass, check it out on Game Pass because it's definitely worth your time to take a look at it, see if it's up right for you. I am looking forward to attempting to the dungeon part where I am not on stream and possibly using a controller instead because I do think I would do better with a controller. But we'll see. I don't know. Um, and that's about it for talking about Boyfriend Dungeon. So now it's time to talk about some manga because I've read a little bit of 4 different manga. We're going to start with the manhwa, which is because it is Korean. This is a Korean book. It is beautifully drawn, long chapters, all in color, which is fun to not just see like a few pages or like the first page of the first chapter, but like, nah, this is all in color. This is a color book, which is remarkable. I started reading Solo Leveling, which a lot of people fucking really dig. And I am maybe one of those people. Solo Leveling. Uh, the thing I like the most about it is a simple trick, which I've seen before, but it is done very well here, which is, so imagine a page of like a 3-panel page. You got your long page here, and next to it you got 2 ones with a bar in it, right? That is how you see the page of the book, right? How it's broken up. That one page is broken up into some panels, right? Imagine that events happen there, like a fight happens there, and there's some dialogue, right? That's just a page. Now, in many manga, in many books, and also in manhwa, um, if a character is going to remember those events, they will just draw part of that event new, and they'll just kind of be there as like, oh yeah, remember when that happened? In this book's instance, and it's a thing that I really like, and it's hard for me to describe properly, and I apologize for that. They take the actual page that was already in a previous chapter, and they like basically like condense it with other things as if the memories are pages from the manhwa, which is a really clever thing. It looks really cool. It's visually really interesting. You know, if you don't remember what it looks like, it is a little hard to read, but it does have this very engaging effect of the memory that is like just a cool visual style. Now, what's the actual story of Solo Leveling? Well, it's about a dude who is a hunter. There are dungeons, there are portals to dungeons in the world. And when the portals started to arrive, they changed some people into the ability to go into those portals, and those are hunters. It is a broad strokes term for anyone that go in there. There are different classes, there are different powers, and your abilities get you into a certain rank. And the certain rank you have means you can tackle certain dungeons. And once you get your ability, you know, there are people that go in and kill big monsters. There are people that go in and retrieve corpses of monsters. There are people that go in and mine in the things for mana crystals and all this other stuff. And there's a whole ecosystem. And our dude, our main guy, is terrible. He is called the worst hunter. He is always getting hurt. He doesn't have the drive to defeat things. He couldn't defeat things. He's in it to be a hunter because his mother is sick and in a coma. And so he's earning money for her hospital stays and also to support her, his younger sister, because his father disappeared in a dungeon many years ago. So that's where we're at there. And so at the start of this, we learn about the character, we learn about his circumstances, and he gets involved in a actually pretty fucking unbelievable event where the opportunity for him to die is incredibly high. And in fact, he's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. But he understands the puzzles, he understands the world they're in, he understands the consequences, and he manages to save several people. But he is gonna die. He is gonna die. And he is offered a chance to do something, which we don't know for a little bit, and then we learn the chance that he is offered is to become the player in the system. And basically, it turns his experiences into video game leveling. He'll be able to get stronger. He'll actually have room for growth, which outside of experience, there is no growth. There is the thing about being like a reawakened. That does happen, but it's rare, and it's not a thing that he was supposed to get, and doesn't properly explain his abilities. So he is tasked to get stronger. He does. He gets these abilities that are remarkable and weird, and he realizes, joking, oh man, I'm glad to hear Free Guy got adapted into a manhwa. Yeah. But he starts to realize, oh, I'm definitely being used. There is something else going on here. But also, that's fine. It's fine that I'm being used because as long as I can get my own ends, that'll work out great. As long as I can do what the things I want to do, which is take care of my family, get stronger, go for it. And it's pretty good. There are a lot of characters. I do think not enough of them have good or interesting things to do. I would love to see some of those characters have more to do in the story, which is kind of a bummer. But I do think the ones that do get to do things are interesting. I think overall the characters are engaging, and the story moves at a pretty good pacing. But yeah, and there are a lot of characters, so it is it is pretty cool. It is pretty good. Um, his abilities are cool. His growth is interesting. It's another, like, he is an overpowered MC, but he is but how he becomes one is interesting, and I've started to understand why people really like it, why it is such a popular story, why it is on the top, towards the top of lots of lists of, like, hey, well, if you like these things, you got to read this, and oh, when is solo leveling going to be adapted, and all this other stuff. Also, it totally could be adapted, and work really well. Uh, I would say it'll get adapted to an anime, and the section where Japan is full of shit heel, traitorous hunters will quickly will be changed or downplayed, I imagine, if it becomes an anime. If it doesn't yeah. Again, there are stickers we could put on this. They're tiny gold stickers that I think don't look good. So we're not going to do it. Because I don't think these stickers look good. So we're not going to put any stickers on here. And then we got all four of these, so we need E3. Okay, so what's kind of cool is we are going to be putting the, because we're going to build this thing fully here. The beam sabers live in this core fighter, which is kind of fun. We'll put the beam sabers in there. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Another book that was kind of interesting, and I don't know if I don't think it's good, Boo, they're not gonna have the one kit I didn't get at last year's online expo. Sorry to hear that, Lashbrook. Uh, yeah, they don't often do all times repeats, but I'm sorry to see that. Oh, Pat, I got to the episode in Demon School where Clara's family sings the Kalego, and it was amazing. Yes, Razgriz, 100%. Um, the uh, the introduction of the older brother, because now we finally met who the older brother is such a wonderful moment, and their song is so great. The Clara family is so great. I don't know. I can't spoil you because I don't know. Next week's episode is going to be at Clara's family again. Born once in a blue moon. Yes, yeah, that he is. He's the sensible, responsible brother is the black sheep of the family, kind of. I mean, they love him, so he's not really a black sheep, but he is the odd one out. And I do think that that is a very funny idea. They're just like, yeah, what are we gonna do with you? So weird. Because he's responsible, um, and like basically an adult. I love his sparkly aura. Yes, very good. That episode is really fun because you finally get a sense of who some of those characters are and why they are like the way they are, which is fun. It's fun to see those characters interact. Um, I did like that Elizabetta just has a really girly room that she really wants to show Kalego because she's probably never shown anyone her very girly room, and that's her whole fucking deal in her one scene in there. Uh, I just like that. She's just like, check out my cool room. That's just a cute little aside in there. Let's see. What else do I want to say? Oh yeah, the Fruit of Evolution is not a good manga, and I don't recommend The Fruit of Evolution. It's all over the place. The premise starts with, let me know if you heard this before. A bunch of people get summoned to another world, and our main character gets separated from all of them. But because he was separated, the god that was bringing them over and was like, "Oh, you're not going to be a party. You're going to go on You're forced to go on your own. They don't want you. Well, I'll give you a cool ability. Um, I'll give you this ability that allows you to um, so it's basically like your skills can evolve and you can dismantle things. He can basically instantly dismantle monsters into whatever components he needs, which is an incredibly overpowered skill. All right, so now let's take our core fighter and fly it into our backpack, and then also our beam sabers go up into the holes here because that's where they come out. Wait, what do I gotta do? Oh, I gotta put this like this. There, now it can go in. Boom. And that is our cool X, our crossbone. Is that part there? So we can take a photo of this here because we now have our cross because we're going to build a cape next. But yeah, so solo leveling was great. Fruit of Evolution, not particularly great. Um, there's some fun characters in it, but it's like, and he's got like instantly has a harem, and it's like, whatever. Uh, Also, it's kind of interesting because like it's very clear that I mean it's very very clear that everyone else that was summoned is being used, and so he's trying to go and find them to go and make good and help them out. But he is also an incredibly overpowered main character, and that's kind of fun. All right, so now we got the bones done. Now we're gonna skip the weapons. We'll get to the weapons, and we're just gonna put a cape on this thing. So basically, what we can do is uh, just take this here. We can just fold these down because we need room to put the cape on. So these just fold down, which is kind of neat. And then we can just put the cape on pretty easily. And then we'll build the weapons as well. But all right, so these got to go like this. Goes like this. Let me see if I can. Oops! Oh no, one of these fell off. Let's see what other manga. Oh, So, the strongest sage with the weakest crest is gonna come out, I believe, in January. So it'll be the winter 2022 season. Uh, I totally understand why this was picked. It's got some humor to it. It's very dumb. Um, the strongest human in the world. He's just like incredibly strong. He's defeated the Demon King. He's defeated everything in front of him, but he knows that there's other monsters out in the universe and he can't be strong because when you're born in this world, you get a crest, one of four crests, and that immediately decides what abilities you will have. And he did the best he could with the weakest crest. And he was like, I'm going to use this spell that no one's ever used before. I'm going to go back in time, or I'm going to die and be reincarnated, and I'll come back to life with all my memories, and I'll make sure I get the best crest. The crest that everyone wants, the one that can use like all kinds of magic and use combat moves, because I'm a swordsman, but I'll like also have magic and yeah, there's some things that aren't great about it, but the positives outweigh all those negatives, and I'll just be like a complete and total badass. And he wakes up in a world where magic has been forgotten. Everyone has to use chance. There's no chanceless magic, which they shouldn't need to use chance. That's weird. And the crest he used is considered the weakest one to encourage people that have that crest, we learn later, to not pursue being an adventurer because they're scared of that crest. So he's already persecuted for having the weakest crest, quote unquote. Um, and he's completely OP, and no one understands how he could be that. They don't understand what's going on. He does a lot of OP shit. I will say, all of the support characters are pretty bland and pretty lifeless, except for the girl who is actually a dragon, and she takes on human form to so she can turn into a dragon when they need a transport. Basically, he found her as transport and was like, "Hey, hang out with me. Also, use the spell that turns you into a human or human looking, so that we don't have to deal with this stuff." I'm just gonna take these off because we don't need these on. Um, she's fun because she is just like whatever. I'm really strong and I like eating human food. I've just developed a taste for human food, so I'm gonna hang out. She's great. But yeah, he's incredibly OP and he has all this knowledge, this forgotten knowledge, and he realizes like, oh shit, the demons are plotting some stuff. I thought I killed all of them back when I was alive. I guess I didn't. So now I'm gonna have to go figure shit out. Uh, it's overall a pretty great story. I think it is pretty fun. Um, and I'll be watching the anime because I think it'll be kind of fun to see how it works out eventually. Um, so that's the strongest stage with the weakest crest. And the other one I want to talk to you about is uh, kind of fun. It's short right now. I'm going to keep reading it because I think it's pretty cool. Um, the basic premise of it is that wait, how do I do this? Well, I got to put this through that. Okay. Sorry, this is a little annoying getting this cape on, but we got to get this cape on. Um, Reincarnated inferior magic swordsman is pretty fun. Dude died by an accident, and a goddess was like, "Hey, I'm one of six goddesses. I'll help you out. You can go to the human world and do some shit if you want. Let me know." And he's like, "Okay, I will do that." And basically, here's the thing that I think is really interesting. So in this world, a lot of people get reincarnated. It's actually not that rare that people get reincarnated, but the common belief is that nobody who gets reincarnated ever surpasses level one. So a lot of reincarnated people just fucking die immediately when they get there. Except our dude, who read through all of the available skills and picked the one that lets you break your limit so he can level up. And people are like, When someone says I'm a goddess, you say yes. And yeah. So basically, he's just like, uh, oh, does that work? How does that work? How does that work? I can't get this. Oh, that's what I need. I need a piece that goes in here to work. I don't have that right now. Hold on. Um, so yeah, so basically, he he like people like don't understand what's going on because he's suddenly incredibly strong. I will say these chapters are also feel very short and it's very like and it's kind of generic in every way. Like the he immediately saves a girl and now she's like part of his party and in love with him and it's just like yeah sure of course you are, of course you are, you don't have a personality, girl in this manga. Um, of course, you're immediately in love with him because he saved you once and he's nice. Uh, it is kind of fun that Pat, I love you, but even one of these isekai sounds the same. Maybe it's also because I do not like Monster Hunter as a game, and all these sound like Monon. The T. A lot of these do very much sound the same, which is why when there are some that aren't that are a little different, it's nice and surprising. That I was saying the strongest sage with the weakest crest. Oh, I forgot the one part that makes this a good book. He doesn't have any common sense. All the things he knows are from a world that doesn't exist anymore, and so he's just like doesn't. He's like, oh, I never had friends. Hey, Aristophan, busted internet sucks. It's kind of better now. I'm glad it's better. Um, yeah, one of the things I liked is he never had friends, so he doesn't understand that like people are like he has admirers or like he never like had family before, like a nice family. So he's just like I don't know how to deal with this stuff. And that is kind of fun. That makes Weakest Crest kind of interesting is that he doesn't really have a concept for the life he's living right now. He's just like, "Oh, that's actually kind of nice." He's like, "Oh, having companions that watch your back. Neat." Which I liked and I can appreciate that he like has room in his life to like figure these things out. I don't know how to get this to work, so we're just gonna lay this out like this. It's got a cape. I don't quite know how to get the parts to lock on over each other, but it does have a cape. I think I got to clip these in, but I can't figure out how to do it, which is very fun. And also, these instructions are not in English in any way that will help me. But yeah, most of these are really generic and they're blah. And I've been looking for ones that aren't solo leveling. I think is pretty cool, even though it's overpowered main character. Um, I do have another show that I'm going to watch at some point, which is World's Strongest Rear Guard. I'm going to read it, I should say. It's not a show. I'm going to be reading World's Strongest Rear Guard at some point. We do have to take a pause for the cause, but I'm trying to get this cape done, and it is definitely not working for me. I'm reading it. Take one thing, it goes through there. I can't figure out how that goes. Like this goes like up above. Does this go through? Is there a hole? I want to say it goes like this. It goes over that. Does that work? You do it like that? All right. Well, I'm not going to fully get this cape right because I don't quite understand how it goes. But I'll take a photo with it with the cape out because I do think it looks awesome, and we'll just kind of leave it like that. Uh, Lashbrook, this is the X2 Ver.ka. It's the alternate X2, which is the different paint job. So that is what is called the Ver.ka. But yeah, can't figure out how that's supposed to work. We'll just take a photo of it in his cape because it does look badass. And then we're gonna take a pause to the cause. Then we're gonna build the weapons for it, and then we will continue on. This is the MG. Yes, this is the Crossbone X2 Ver.ka Master Grade from 2013, which was reissued. I pre-ordered this, I believe, the beginning of the year. I want to say very early on. Um, All right, we can build the weapons. I took one photo there. We'll build the weapons that we need to build for this cool thing. Um, After we take a pause for the cause, we'll build the weapons. Um, but first, we'll get through this real quick because there's not a lot of yet, and I do want to wrap up this kit. Hi, welcome. If you're currently a subscriber, throw the Barricade, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know you are a subscriber to the channel. Really appreciate that. Um, if you're not a subscriber, consider becoming one. You could also gift somebody a subscription. Aristovan gave out a bunch of gifts last night, which was very kind of him. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that into a regular subscription. I would appreciate that if you're so inclined to do so. That would be rad. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. It'll be quick, and we'll get back into building. I'm going to talk about some anime that I watched past couple days, and we're going to build the weapons for this kit. But also, I have to bring up Nightbot and the commands so I can tell you all of the cool things that we do here. I have a Patreon, patreon.com /Pat Baer. If you were interested in joining my Patreon instead of, instead of supporting me here monetarily, you can join my Patreon. Shax is here. Welcome. But yeah, if you want to join my Patreon, patreon.com /Pat Baer, there's a $1, $3, $5, and a $10 tier. So we're breaking up the tiers a little bit that way, which I think is pretty fun. I have a YouTube, youtube.com /Pat Baer. It is free to subscribe, of course, because it's YouTube, but there's memberships, and you could join there. Lashbrook found translated instructions. I don't think that's actually going to help my particular issue of not understanding how the cape works, but I do appreciate that. Thank you very much for looking it up, Lashbrook. It's okay. I've done a cape like this before, and I couldn't understand it then, and that had English instructions. They just don't properly really describe it. I'll do it on my own time, but I do appreciate that. Look, thank you for looking out. Let's see. So I've got that. I've got YouTube. You can join that way. Also, monetarily, one time if joining a membership on YouTube, if joining my Patreon, if joining my Twitch and subscriber here that doesn't suit your needs, you can always do a one-time donation, and I would appreciate that. And everything I make through all of that, Shax just rescribed for 8 months using Prime, saying, nice, welcome. Thank you so much. Let's do the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote in there. And thanks, Shax, for renewing that. Really appreciate that. Welcome back, my friend. Yeah, anything I make through Patreon, through Twitch, through YouTube, all of that goes to buying model kits. It all goes into a fund. I take that money, I buy model kits. That's what I do with that money. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Your support anywhere is very much appreciated. I have an Amazon wish list. I have a bunch of stuff in my backlog, including a thing that I'm going to be building next once this is done. Sorry for ruining. No problem at all. Thank you for supporting. I really appreciate it. My wish list. If you buy something on the wish list, I'll build it on the stream, and I'll jump the queue. So it'll be the next thing I build when I'm done with the thing I've already worked on. I've got Lego sets. I've got high grades. I've got master grades. I've got inexpensive kits, incredibly expensive kits, kits that are like free shipping from Amazon. You got to pay for whatever, and it's going to take months to arrive for some reason. Why would they do that? Yeah, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. A couple pieces of gear at the bottom. If you buy something from that, like I said, I'll shoot a video, and I would really appreciate it, and it'll jump the queue, so I'll build it next. Instead of building something that's on my own backlog. Also, if you buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, you could buy a gift card. They will send you an email with the code. You could then DM me on Twitter, because my DMs are open, with that code, and I will use that code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. Maybe a pre-order, maybe just something they have in stock. I'll do that. And of course, I do always appreciate that. If you can't or you're not interested, you just can't do money, can't help me out that way, I get that. If you just want to hit the follow, watch some streams, hang out and chat, that's great. You also, if you'd like, could join my Discord. My Discord is free, obviously, and it's a nice little community. People post photos of things they're working on. People hang out in there. It's a nice little vibe. So feel free to jump in there. A couple video links I would like to share with you before we get back to building and I start talking about some anime. Speaking of anime, Pat Bear's Anime Club joined the Discord. Indeed. Pat Bear's Anime Club is the latest episode is me talking about Zombieland Saga and Zombieland Saga Revenge, the sequel, season 2, basically, and how it's a beautiful show. It's a funny, cool, interesting show that also happens to be an idol show. And it's the first time I've ever watched an idol show that I'm like, I like this shit. This is good. It's my first and only idol show. My favorite and only one I've ever really watched more than like an episode of. So I would really highly recommend you watch Pat Bear's Anime Club, that episode, for me to hear me talk about that, because maybe it'll trigger, you'll be like, oh, anime girl gets hit with a bus. Me, there is it does have a girl getting hit. Yes, that is the beginning of it. But then it goes from there. Zombieland has been on my list of I don't watch anime, but maybe this would be something I want to watch. So maybe I should watch your video. Yeah, I would say check that out, because I do try to go into a compelling case about why it's worth your time. I think the music is really fun. I think the characters are fantastic. They have so much life to them, despite the fact that they're zombies. And it is a love letter to a region of Japan that doesn't get a lot of love. Even though it's historically very important to the Japanese people, it doesn't get the reverence. So the fact that they're making a show about that, like that is like the theme is saving Saga. A friend of mine who watches more than I do loved it. Characters are wicked, neat. Yes, they're really great, and they play off each other really well. So I did a whole video about Zombieland Saga, and I hope you check that out. Also, Best of Build with Baer. This was from one of my cooking clips, and it's me explaining how my cooking stream is different from real cooking shows. Because real cooking shows do it a particular way, and I did it my way. And so it's just a little clip from that of me talking about the differences between the two. Best of Build With Baer is just clips from previous shows. If you ever see something you think is funny or interesting, or I embarrass myself and you think that's fun, you can hit the clip it button, the clip that button, I should say. If I do a clip, I love to see those, because it just means like, oh, that was a thing in the stream that you thought was fun or interesting or cool. And that would really help me find future clips, because I'm keeping my eyes peeled on them, but having your help would be great too. All right, so I got to drink some water. We're going to talk about some anime. I'm going to build some weapons for this kit, the crossbone, and then we'll put the crossbone to bed. So let me do this. Booyah. To get ready to go anime, because I got some isekai to talk to y'all about. Y'all know that I watch a lot of isekai, and I got 3 of them to talk to you about as we put some weapons on this thing. We're going to take the cape off, because we don't need the cape on for this part, because we're just going to build some weapons. We don't need that, because also I still don't quite know how to put the cape on, so we're not going to worry about the cape. But we'll get more of these on here. So the first show I want to talk to you about is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Shit is popping off. It is time to get their revenge. The Rimbaru allied forces are going in. They are going to, they're preparing for war against Clayman's troops, who are going to be supported by some of the dragon worshippers, because even though Miriam says she doesn't have any followers, there are a bunch of warrior monks who have decided kind of on their own that they worship the dragon lord, Miriam. So basically, we get Pat. I don't know if I've asked any games you frequent recently. I talked about Boyfriend Dungeon, which I played last night on stream, and I had played a little bit and restarted so I could play it on stream. I have not been playing a lot of games lately, honestly. I've been on a manga kick as my free time activity, so I have not actually been playing a lot of games. But yeah, I've been digging Boyfriend Dungeon. I put another hour of that in today, which is a good sign considering that I had played it last night, that I played more today. Um, and every once in a while, I will just go and run around in uh, Power Wash Simulator because I still enjoy Power Wash Simulator a lot. Um, so I will go and run around in that and have a good time. Um, but getting back into that time I got reincarnated as a slime season 2, part 2. Uh, Rimuru, it's like a bunch of catch up. Rimuru makes an artificial body for Tranny, the dryad, so that she can leave the forest. I don't think if it was ever said that she couldn't leave the forest, but apparently she doesn't have a physical body, so now she has a physical body, so she can go, which they needed. Let's see. Benimaru, we find out that his skill that he got when everyone got reincarnated and Rimuru became a demon lord, or the reborn, I should say. He became a demon lord. A bunch of his people got new skills, and Benimaru's skill is Born Leader. It makes him great for this one particular thing, which is leading a huge army in battle. He's apparently very skilled in doing that now, which, good for him. Let's see what else happens in this episode. Let's see. Kind of surprising. Never really gets into fights or in battle. Shuna, the orc princess, is like, "Hey, take me with you to Clayman's castle. I also want revenge." So she's gonna go with Soe and Hakuro, the other orcs, and some of their troops to go there at the Kaijin. They're called Kaijin now, I should say. Clayman's army easily falls into a trap set up by Geld because the battle site is where the orcs used to live. So they're like, yeah, we know exactly where we're going, and we know like how to make the best of the terrain and fuck them up, which is awesome. Good for him. This piece is supposed to slip in here, and it does not want to. And that is making me very annoyed. It goes like this. This piece goes. This is A17, right? Yep, this is A17. This clear piece is supposed to slip in here so that it can come part of this lance. Don't know why it's not going in. I'm going to trim it down a little bit because maybe that will help it out. Anyway, Benimaru tells the Beastketeers, hey, go after Clayman's generals. Get your revenge, which is, kind of him. Cool of him to go and do that. Oh, that fit in now. Great. Because it was a clear piece, I couldn't see that there was extra stuff on it, and it wouldn't work. All right. Anyway, Phobia tracks down the two clowns, and Gil is going to give him backup, but they are not going to do well against those clowns. Those clowns are strong as hell. Let's see. Yamza, who is in charge of Clayman's troops, he's like, I am going to get the fuck out of here because it's time to flee. But he can't flee, and he gets tracked down by Albus, and then Gobta and his Wolf Riders show up to help out, which is cool. Good for him. Anyway, that dude is definitely gonna die. Is that the real grade Crossbone? No, this is the master grade. This is the 2013 Crossbone X2, but it is the Ver.ka because it is the alternate colors. But this is a master grade, originally for 2013, re-released this year from Premium Bandai. But it is basically the 2013 kit with like just different colored components, which is great because I never built this kit in 2013, so happy to have it. Okay. Drugstore in Another World. The Slow Life of a Cheat Pharmacist is the other one of the three isekai that I watched these past couple of days. Um, Cheat Pharmacist. Look, some people say like, really, slice of life. Isekai slice of life. Like, there's still a lot of action in it. It's still like a lot of like, like it's not the chill experience that people like actually want. Well, those people should fucking watch this show because this is definitely a goddamn slice of life where nothing fucking happens. Uh, we don't even know how this dude got reincarnated. He just got reincarnated and now he's here and he's got a pharmacy and he makes potions that people think taste good. So he makes like energy drinks and potions of other kinds that people are like fucking super psyched to have, and he's doing real well for himself, which is great. I need E25. There's um anyway, what else? This episode's all like the past few episodes were hinting. It was like the end of the episode. They would hint that like, oh, something's coming. Something's coming. It's coming. Uh, the demon lord is going to show up. The demon king Egil is going to show up. The demon king Egil is a young boy demon, uh, and he really likes the particular drinks that Reggie makes. So he's just like, all right, I'm going to go there and I'm going to get some. And then Reggie's just like, hey, do you have money? And he's like, I'm the demon lord king. No. And he's like, well, then you don't get anything. Go home. Come back with some money. And he's just like, really, just like, I think this, young demon king is just like immediately just getting like insulted and put in his place. And it's just like real like, well, I'll give you half the world when I conquer the world. It's just like, well, you can't do that. You have to give that to the people that work under you. It's a shame that like treat your employee, your underlings better. Like, don't promise me that just for a drink. And eventually, it ends up that look out, Noella comes in, who is she's like a beast girl that Reggie saved. We gather, we kind of understand that. Anyway, he falls madly. The Demon King meets a young lady. He's a young demon, meets a young beast lady who's cute and fun. He's just like, hey, marry me. And she's like, immediately he's just like, no. So he ends up working there. It's convoluted. It's kind of fun. The best part of the episode is they make a hear what people are thinking serum potion. Basically, the idea is that uh, the Demon King can't take no for an answer. Is like, well, I need to know what she's really thinking, which doesn't make any sense because Noella just says what she's thinking. So that doesn't go to plan. But then the ghost Nina drinks it, and we find out that Nina on the inside is actually a lot tougher and scary. And they're very afraid of Dark Nina. And that was a fun little bit of business that she has got a real like a real attitude, but she is really cheerful. And that was cute. It's fine. The episode overall is fine. Um, I'm glad that the Demon King was a boy and not another girl that is just clearly in love with our main character, because there are like fucking 100 of like there's already like 8 of those girls in the show. So I was like happy to mix things up. Uh, I mean, he's no Paula. That was the girl that was introduced last week, who I really like. I think she's like a great character. She's probably the best character in the show of the characters that are there just to be interested in our main dude. It is, like I said, it is complete milk toast, easy to watch, no worries. They don't even describe how he got there kind of show that you can just put on and be like, okay, it is a totally veg out anime. I am kind of surprised it got picked up, but it's fine. It's totally fine. Here's the thing. I'm gonna look at this later on my big list of anime I watched this year, and when I do like my end of the year list, I'm gonna go, that came out weird because I'm not gonna remember it. Um, All right, let's build this lance. We got to build a lance here. Build that lance, and then I think we'll probably call it quits when we're done with the lance. Oh, I guess we can build the pistol. I don't know. We built the fucking like flint and pistol. It's very silly. Um, let's keep working on our weapons here. Build our lance because lances are cool. Um, let's see. The last anime I watched the past couple of days that also is, of course, an isekai because that's just what's going on. Pistol look like it belonged to a different toy. Well, I mean, it is the weapons do make this appear more because it is a pirate themed kit. So, like when you think account that there's a skull on here, and then it's got this, but yeah, this does feel a little out of place. But it's got a rapier. The fact that the beam is like this kind of beam, like I don't know, it's got some stuff going on. I guess we will have to build the rapier for that. Um, yeah, it does have like I don't know, it does have some pirate stuff in it, which I do appreciate. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. We finally figure out what's going on. Basically, uh, I guess this guy is very G Gundamish. Yeah, a bit the T. It's a bit. I mean, it's basically it. It's finally actually doing a space pirate. There are so many space pirates in Gundam, but this one's just like, yeah, let's lean into that shit. This is a pirate Gundam in space. Let's just like go for it, which I can appreciate. All right, so K9, K10, K6. Um, Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Last week we learned that there is a guy who runs the Merchants Guild, who is just like there's a merchant group, I should say, Patrick Rembrandt. And I was like, ooh, an anime character with my name. Hope he doesn't turn out to suck. Anyway, his wife and two daughters have all been cursed. And no one can figure this out. But luckily, our main character is like, well, I know an alchemist, and we have the ingredients. We can make ambrosia, which will cure any curse and disease. So he gets some help from Hazel, the alchemist that he saved not too long ago. And he's like, okay, let's do this. And part of it is, well, part of the curse is they don't want to be saved. They don't want to be, uh, they fight it because they're cursed. So we learned that Tsukimi, our main dude, Makoto, he didn't study. He studied archery. He didn't study like judo or anything. But his older sister was learning judo, and she would put him in moves all the time in holds, and he couldn't get out of them because he wasn't strong. But he's like, I remember how to do them though, and now I'm stronger, so I can do them. So he does a bunch of cool moves, a bunch of like holds, like arm bars, basically. And the wife and daughters are saved, which is rad. Everything's cool. Um, Also, he gets assisted by by Morris, who is the butler for Patrick. And yes, this show now indeed has. Hey, John Robert, happy to have you here. Welcome, my friend. Um, Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy does indeed have a combat butler, a cool butler that it was definitely an adventurer at some point and knows how to get the job done, which is shit that I love in anime. I love a cool combat butler. Anyway, so we get that. Yeah, hey John. Happy to have you here, John Robert. So that is very cool. There are a bunch of like adventurers who are just like, we hate the Rembrandts and we're gonna attack you for helping them. And they get their asses kicked by Tomoe. The cutest part of that is she's really into historical dramas, so she won't start attacking them until Makoto says, go teach them a lesson. And she's just like, yeah, now I can do it. And she kicks all their asses, which is great. And she even eventually recruits the original, the guy who was leading it, who was tricked into attacking them. Uh, so, so she did a good job. And we get the sense that even though he's a loving father and husband, maybe Patrick Rembrandt isn't the nice guy we think he is. Maybe he's just also a cutthroat business person. We get the sense. I mean, we pretty much get the sense that's happening. So we got our lance here. Oh, we didn't do this part. We'll finish the lance. We'll go back and do that. We're getting close to the end. That's all. That's all the anime I watched. Lots of anime as always. Trying to watch some stuff. I'm watching. I'm very disappointed by the current season 2 of Dragon Maid. Shax wants me to ring the bell. I will ring the bell. The season 2 of Dragon Maid. I don't like the new dragon, and I don't love like how much time is spent on her. She's just not a character I enjoy. It's just not a thing that I'm like super into. I wish I was, because I liked season 1 of Dragon Maid, but yeah, I'm not super into season 2 right now. And I wish I was. So I'm kind of watching that at my own pace. I'm also watching Aquatope on the White Sand, which is beautiful, but I just don't feel like chatting about it, like giving an update of what happened in the episodes. I'm just kind of watching it at my own pace. I think I'm like an episode behind, but it's really good. If you got Crunchyroll or you want to watch it a week late with ads, Aquatope on the White Sand is, right now anyway, probably like in my top 3 favorite shows this season. And this isn't a strong season, but there have been a few that are pretty great. So maybe check that out. Right now we're finishing up the lance here, getting our weapons done, and then we most likely won't get to work on the next thing, the Hello Kitty kit, which is fine, but it's okay. We'll start that on Saturday. Yes, John Robert. The sale of Crunchyroll to Sony has gone through. So far, there have been 0 changes to either Crunchyroll or Funimation. Those changes will probably happen. I'm sure behind the scenes there is a restructuring. I don't have any information on that per se, but that is what I've been led to believe, that there has been some restructuring. But yes, Sony now owns the 2 major anime distributions for streaming, at least. Because Netflix comparatively has very few things. Not directly related to the above, but it did remind me of it. God, I hate capitalism. Yes, the T. I agree. I will tell you this. I was surprised that this current administration did the antitrust investigation that happened. I am surprised this got cleared up as fast as it did, because it is definitely, in my opinion anyway, clearly an antitrust issue. But what do I know? I'm just a dude. But this feels bad, man. It feels bad to have the number 1 and number 2 streaming platforms owned by the same corporation. Feels not great. So who knows what will happen, but I mean, I know what will happen. Yes, the T. Certainly. Um, Disney acquires all. So Disney is an acquisition group, but what I'm saying here is like, yeah, they're buying all these things. I totally don't disagree with you there, but yeah, but in this particular case, this is Sony being like, well, we already own Funimation, and also I'll say this: when Sony bought Funimation, that since the deal, Funimation and Crunchyroll had a shared library program going for a little while, where you could, if you had a Funimation account, you could access stuff on Crunchyroll. Once Sony bought Funimation, that deal ended or expired and wasn't renewed, and so it's just like, it's very clear that that bad for consumers thing already happened. So to be like, pretend like, oh, this won't be bad for consumers, it's like, no, you already proved it is. We already know it's bad for consumers. Like, it's just going to get worse for consumers. Um, who knows? Uh, my guess is eventually you will have one login that will work on both sites. You'll pay for one and have access to both. And then in like 2 years, it will jump in price and suddenly be very expensive because somebody will look at it and go, "We paid how much for that? Well, you got to raise prices. What do we do? What are we doing here?" There's no way it won't do that. So we'll see. We'll also see like what the investments long term are in original properties and things like that. We'll see how that goes. And Crunchyroll originals, if those continue to happen. I don't know. It is a weird time for that. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. Uh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, have a good walk. Thanks for stopping in, John Robert. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Hope to talk to you soon. Yeah, and enjoy that walk. Uh, we got some time left to stream. Folks, are you watching anything on YouTube? You watching anything on television? You watching anything on streaming services? Non-anime. If you're watching anime, let me know. Always love to hear from you about what y'all are consuming out there, what y'all are watching. Always interesting to hear from you. Um, you started ATLA. Okay. Let me know how you're liking that. Uh, I have been myself. I haven't been watching too much. I've just had stuff on the background while I've been reading things. Like I said, I've been on a manga kick. I've been, reading a lot of manga and hanging out. Why can't I get this to work? This goes in this. There it goes. Um, almost done Book of Earth. I want to watch Korra. Hell yeah. Watch Korra. Korra is great. I binged the Eva Rebuild movies over 2 days. I don't recommend doing it that way, but I like them. Lastbrook, I would go a step further. I wouldn't recommend them. But that's just me, because I'm an old anime man who always thought that Evangelion was overrated. Um, but I have heard okay things about how the Rebirth movies go. The Rebuild, I should say, not Rebirth. The Rebuild movies go. Uh, but I will at some point watch them, but not now. But I would definitely agree with you. Even if you are into them or you're get interested in getting them, um, that yeah, you shouldn't binge them or sorry, marathon them. Trying to use marathon. You shouldn't marathon them over the period of like 2 days. That does not feel like the ideal way to watch that at all. But yeah, you should check them out. Um, Also, good luck with the move. The T. Moving is never great, so good luck with it. Uh, I think I marathon everything I watch. Yeah, I mean, I look because I watch anime seasonally. I watch a lot of anime, um, because that's the only way. Like I want to watch stuff weekly. All right, We gotta do this. We gotta do this beam sword here. Definitely gotta do this beam sword. It's like a beam cutlass. So we got to do that. But then we'll finish up when we when that. Um, we need H and E and H and E and H and E. Great. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll probably wrap up this kit with that. There are some daggers. This kit also has a thing where you can put daggers in the feet, which is nonsense, but I like feet daggers as a concept. Yeah, the movie is still real scary. Like I think everything is the move, not movie. The move is still real scary. Uh, like I think everything is fine, but if something goes wrong next week, then I have no idea what I'm doing. Yup, 100%. Shaxx just moved myself. Mental exhaustion. Yeah, I mean, like it's a lot. It's a lot to prep. It's a lot to remember all the things you need to do and making sure you're doing all the things you need to do, and you've got all of your ducks in a row, and you've got everything lined up exactly how you need it, and then going with the flow. And so I don't envy you, but also good luck. Yeah, good luck with tape. It's a lot. Um, Having to do it, and since I got down here, but eventually, I'm gonna have to do it again. Not super looking forward to that. All right, so this goes like this. Fun. Then I need H1 and H6. These are tiny pieces here. Well, that's not that tiny. All right. Yeah, if anybody else has been enjoying anything internet-wise or TV-wise, let me know. Sorry. Um, um, I know Harold is excited, I'm sure, and I am as well, that our fine friends at Loading Ready Run, who have been doing everything from home or one person in uh, their cooperative space, their office, um, that now they are starting to do a couple people live together as everyone has been vaccinated. They are starting in the group, or at least I think most people I believe are fully vaccinated. Uh, Reservation Dogs on Hulu is really good. Okay, I haven't heard of that at all, but all right, I'll take your word. Um, anyway, yeah, I'm really happy that they're getting like people together. I'll have to watch the rest of Ian Horner, who greatly influenced this stream and what I do here. He had Beach Dairy over to build when he was building. He's working on the plastic model kit maker model kit, which we built. I built here last year on stream. The model kit of the machine that makes model kit like parts, which is very recursive and great. So he was working on that, which is a great 1 day build. Oh yeah, my partner and I watched the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix. Really good overall. I have heard very good things of that. That's not my jam, but I know people that really love it, particularly that like that series that really engage with it, and so that's awesome. Okay, so here we had to build this sword because it's huge and great. So we got a sword, we've got a gun, we got a lance. Very cool weapons on this kit. I'm going to take a photo of this. And then we'll get like prepped for the next thing, but we're not gonna end up getting too deep into it. But we'll prep for it. Okay, so let me get all these weapons in here. Very cool weapons in this. Uh, I actually way into that sword. No, the T. I love this sword. I think this sword completely kicks ass. So I definitely wanted to build it. I think all of this gear is great. There's some other things in here. There's a beam shield here. There is room to make like a weapon, like a throwing weapon. There's some stuff in this kit. But we are going to call it quits on it. I'm going to get some, just make some room here. Got a bunch of leftover stuff. There's also a bunch of stuff from like the previous incarnation of the cutlass. Yes, it's a laser cutlass. Yeah. There's also plenty of leftover stuff from like the original version of this kit because it's the X2. So lots of extra components from the X on here. We'll at least get. I'm not even going to take a photo of it because we'll just get settled for. This is our Hello Kitty project we're going on. It is an entry grade Hello Kitty, which is the introduction kits, and in the same box, it also is a an ED or EX, I should say, the SD RX 782. So we got a Chibi 782, and then we have a Hello Kitty, and then you can put the Hello Kitty head on the RX 782 with some extra components to make it into a Gundam, a Hello Kitty Gundam. So we will also have that, but we'll just get like set up here. Got A, C, got A parts here. We basically have like the RX 782A, and then we have the Hello Kitty A. So I gotta like separate those. Uh, yeah, this is the X standards. Let's see. This is A and A. Got B and C. C. Big ol' apple. B and D with our weapons. we are going to eventually have Hello Kitty with the gun, which is what you get when you build this set completely, finish the set. You end up with Hello Kitty with a gun, which is very weird. It's a weird thing to say out loud, but it's true. So we'll get into this. Basically, this is a combo that came out last year. But yeah, this is what we can make is by putting the head on there and then putting a different helmet on it or a thing over it. You get the Gun Kitty. Yes, the Hello Gun Kitty. They made it pretty obvious from the sprue shapes which are the Hello Kitty ones. Yes, you can see, like, you can tell which one is the RX-72 and which one is the Hello Kitty from the Bees, which is nice. It's a nice little bit of business. And this is, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's cute. They even made this cute. So you don't need to use, because it's an entry grade, you don't need clippers, but we'll be using snipper clips for this whole thing. We'll also be using X-Acto knife for the many stickers that we have. We will be panel lining this kit because it is the RX-72 specifically is just going to look good that way. We don't, like I said, we don't need the panel lining for especially the Hello Kitty part, but it is nice to have that all together because it just does make things easier. So, and the instructions are pretty straightforward and easy to use, which is great. We're going to start by doing the head. So we'll do that, and then we will move on. We'll at least get the head done. I don't even think I'm going to take a photo of it because we're going to wrap up the stream in a minute, but we can get a little of this head put together. Check the parts, the yellow nose, black eyes, and whispers fit snugly. It is also very nice to have some English in here. That is just helpful after our other kit did not have any of that. So yeah, let's build a little bit of this Hello Kitty. And we are going to use our snipper clips here to at least also clean up anything. And yeah, as we said earlier, there is a version of this with Hello Kitty's friend, whose name I can't remember, and the Zaku, which is a fun, odd combination. We need that, and then A13 and A14. This will be a very quick thing. Like, we're going to finish this, like, on Saturday. I believe we will finish this and the RX-72. But, you know, we'll have a little bit of, we'll have a little more work to do because we will panel line it. But this is not going to be, like, a very difficult project to do. It's not going to take too long or be too hard. It won't. I mean, we might not finish it on Saturday because we won't get a lot done today, and we will have, you know, work to do. So this goes in like that. Oh, we got an eye and all the whiskers, nice and easy. And then we get an eye and the other whiskers. Weird, but cool. And I don't think we'll have like a lot of panel lining on our kitty, but there will be some panel lining to do on the RX-72 because it is an intergrade. It will have plenty of stickers. Like, you know, for this, we'll hit the gray here for the ears, right? We'll hit that because that'll look pretty good. Also, it'll help match because RX-72 will have panel lining on it because it'll have a lot more contours. But we'll do that and it'll look good. It'll just be nice and a little shading on it. It'll still look cool. So that's all we need for that. And then we put 11. Think about panel lines and battle damage on the Hello Kitty, though. Yes, Raspberries, it is weird to think about that, a panel lining the kitty, but especially when we put the helmet on. When we put on the final helmet, we'll definitely have to put some marker on there and panel line it because it'll need it. All right, then we need B4, which is, and B5, which is our ribbons. Hello Kitty doesn't mess around. She'll fuck someone. Hey, look. This kitty, yeah, this kitty means business. Don't forget. Right. And that goes like that. The bigger side goes like that. These line up like that. Booyah, booyah. And then right in there. Great. Oh, wait. There it is. Got it. Okay, and then we will panel line this a little bit. Just a little brown here for a red. Good. Clean that up. And we'll just hit this here. We'll clean that up as always. We don't have to worry about getting it messy because we'll just hit it with the eraser and it'll look great. That off. Clean that all up. Sure that's snapped together right. And then put this bow back on here. Booyah! There's our kitty. Now we just have a Hello Kitty head. Just hanging out. And that's going to do it for our stream tonight. That is where we're going to leave off for this evening. I will return on Saturday. We will, of course, we're going to raid. So feel free to come along on the raid. Please come along on the raid. It means a lot if you can do that. Because want to see who's doing what out there, want to share some love with some other creators, want to introduce you to some cool people that you can go hang out with. And I want to take you to some fun people that are doing some fun stuff. Let's see who's doing things. We gotta go hang out with Xandra, our friend Xandra, of course, who makes cool emotes. Is playing Axiom Verge 2. So I haven't really seen a lot of Axiom Verge. Xandra absolutely rules, so we're going to go hang out with her. She made all my cool emotes. So let's go give Xandra a raid, and then hit this here. Got to hit this. Sorry, give me a second. My next stream will be Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I will continue on this kit, so please come and hang out as I do that. I hope you had a great evening. I hope you come along on this raid. I hope you enjoy it. I hope to see you again on Saturday as we work on a Hello Kitty and RX-782. What a great combo. And thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next Build With Baer Workshop. Goodbye. Goodbye.